Last season at the USGP at the Circuit of the Americas, Mercedes turned up with a new front wing which had something on it that we'd not seen before. On the elements of the front wing, they had created some strakes which seemed to have a secondary benefit of conditioning air rearward along the car. The rule was that the primary goal of these needed to be structural, so they needed to keep one element with the other, and Mercedes argued that there was a secondary benefit which was aerodynamic, and that was okay because the rule stated the primary goal had to be structural. But there was lots and lots of objection to this and Mercedes using it. So even though it was believed that it was allowed, and I think the FIA initially signed off on it, Mercedes elected not to run the front wing at the next race in Mexico. Today, fast forward to the launch of the Ferrari SF23, and we see the same strakes on their front wing. It's very critical that the rules into 2023 were changed, and they changed the wording of it, which does allow these strakes so long as they conform to very, very, very strict measurement rules. So this will be the length, width, height of them, and probably the angle that they're at. And so long as teams are within those, then they can run those strakes. The idea of them is that it conditions the air towards the front wheels or indeed to the fences on the front of the floor surface, and it just acts as another way to make the air work as they want it to, going down to the rear of the car or back to the rear of the car. And it's just another way that the aerodynamicists can tweak and make the car work for them all the more. And it's going to be super interesting with the upcoming launch of the Mercedes. Will we see them do this? We haven't seen these on any other car, but I think a lot of the cars that we've seen so far, the most mature part of it that we can tell is the side pods, or are the side pods. I think they've had somewhat spec front and rear wings on, and I think come testing, we might see more of these strakes now that they're within the rules. It was an idea which Mercedes showed, and if there's even a tiny advantage in running them completely legally, I think we'll see pretty much every team running them if they've prepared them in time for testing. But I would bet they have. I don't think this is Ferrari doing anything risky because it is allowed. And also, I think we're just seeing it now because they wanted to run the car today. But then again, saying that, they could have run kind of a spec front wing, I suppose. But there we have it. Ferrari are using these strakes that Mercedes had at Circuit of the Americas last season. Do you think that we're going to see more teams running these little strakes on their front wings come testing in Bahrain? Do we think we're going to see the Mercedes with them? Please don't forget as well that we're going to be doing the Mercedes launch, the Alpine launch live on this channel, as well as all updates throughout testing and watch-alongs during the season. So please make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and liking this video. Thanks a lot, guys.